Welcome to Very Unlikely. If it's your first time viewing the channel today, I hope you enjoy it and you'll consider subscribing. Now today we're going to look at a project that looks more like a Fortune 500 company than it actually does a cryptocurrency. But first of all, let's take a little trip over to Mountain View, California. Welcome to Google, an absolute advertising monster. In their Q3 2021 report, the reported revenue was $53.1 billion. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the type of giant we are talking about, and that's their advertising. The reason for this quick trip is no two companies are alike. Now there's companies and then there's companies with a big C. Google clearly is a company with all caps. And the reason I want you to understand this is, let's go on and just take a look at some of the other companies that Google owns. They own companies such as YouTube, the platform that you're on right now. Need directions? Give Waze a try. They also own Waze. Want to track your fitness? They own Fitbit. And if you want to control your house from anywhere in the world, well, it just so happens they also own the company Nest. So, as you can see, it goes beyond just a simple, you hop online, type into Google, a search you're looking for. There's a full wide world beyond that. And that's what I want you to understand, because that's how we're going to draw the conclusion to a project known as Polygon.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Now we can discuss why Polygon looks like they have their sights on much more than just being a second layer scaling solution to Ethereum, and why they look more like a Fortune 500 company than just a cryptocurrency. At the time of this recording, I do not hold Polygon in my portfolio, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm simply bringing you some information on a project that I think you should definitely be paying attention to. So always make sure to DYOR, do your own research. What started in 2017 as Matic Network with the primary mission to improve Ethereum infrastructure, in February 2021 rebranded to Polygon, a Swiss Army knife of second layer scaling solutions, with more than 3,000 dApps that are already live on Polygon POS. To put it simple, Polygon uses its own proof-of-stake blockchain to commit chain connectivity to help Ethereum scale. And the reason it's like a Swiss Army knife, it can be connected and work with any type of scaling solution. So it's extremely flexible and virtually works across the board. But this video today is not about the ins and outs and all the mechanisms of Polygon, and not even truly about the history. It's more about the future and where it's headed. One thing I do want to mention is Coinbase Ventures is invested in Polygon. You always want to pay attention to that with the project, who is invested in it, and you can believe if Coinbase Ventures is invested in it, it's at least worth taking a glance at it. Rather than the traditional words you would use like mergers and acquisitions, today we're going to call it partnerships and acquisitions. We're going to start with DraftKings. Now DraftKings needs no introduction, and DraftKings decided to partner up with Polygon for its dive into non-fungibles. So just think about that. All the revenue, all the money associated with online gambling and esports, and DraftKings is just one of them. I have no doubt that this is probably just the start, but think about the branding that is there. Now that's just the first one we're starting off with. Uniswap is now live on Polygon. Now when it comes to Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, or short, a DEX, anyone who has used it understands over time the issues that have become of the gas fee situation. Certainly, scaling has been an issue. So when we're looking at scaling, looking at them moving on to Polygon, at this point, this is basically a must. So there's yet another partnership that is huge, certainly in the world of DeFi, cryptocurrency, and things like that. So it's just really a big deal. There are others as well in terms of DEXs that have teamed up with Polygon, but I want to name the granddaddy of them all, and that is none other than Uniswap. Opera Browser has also integrated Polygon, and you can also see right here Ernst & Young to integrate its flagship blockchain solutions into the Polygon protocol. If you'd like to talk about the metaverse on Polygon, we can go on and on about that as well. No shortage of big name projects teaming up with Polygon. And I think you can believe that if Polygon didn't have something to offer, this would not be happening. So at this point, I want you to consider Polygon somewhat similar, not in function of what it does, but of its importance, similar to a Chainlink. Now, Chainlink is in the Oracle field, if you will. Polygon's scaling is something that is much needed, and regardless of Ethereum 2.0, because Polygon has diversified, this further will allow them to be around for years to come. But now that's just more of the partnerships. Let's go a little bit deeper and look at these blockbuster moves. Reddit co-founder creates $200 million initiative with Polygon for Web3 social media. I don't think I really have to give you the implications and explain to you how big of a deal social media already is. So when we talk about the combination of Web3 and social media, and I still think because social media of the future is likely to be wrapped into the metaverse, I think you're going to get the best of all worlds. And to see that someone as big as Reddit and their founder wants to work with Polygon, that should also ring some alarms, some positive alarms that is. So keep that in mind. And now we have what's more like a true acquisition. Polygon acquires Mir in $400 million deal to scale Ethereum and Web3. So there you have it again. Web3. Call it a buzzword, call it what you want, but it is the future and it's where we're headed. So here you have a crypto that is clearly looking into the future and doing what it's going to take to be where they need to be. That is a big acquisition. I want you to think about all the projects, whether it be a blockchain or just a project that's on a blockchain that has had big success, and they kind of rest on their laurels and they seem not to really move forward. Now, nothing wrong with that. If the protocol or the project is serving its purpose, well, that's good because they're doing what their use case originally was. But I want you to think about the fact, certainly with this acquisition, not only is Polygon performing, they're continuing to find ways to perform into the future. When you look at these big Fortune 500 companies, you have to ask yourself the question, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, who is doing it in a similar fashion? That would be none other than Polygon. Then we have none other than Polygon Studios. Polygon sets up $100 million fund for NFT and gaming projects. And if you don't know how big NFTs and gaming are in the crypto space right now and how they'll continue to be into the future, welcome to crypto, because you probably have not been here very long, and that's perfectly fine. But let me explain to you. NFTs, which started out something simple, are really, really getting deeper and deeper into use cases that we originally didn't think they would be used for. And they're now starting to gain utility. It's not just artwork, digital collectibles, it's much deeper than that. Now, when it comes to gaming, need I really say much about how big gaming is and how big it has been for decades at this point? And what's interesting about the crypto space is smaller companies and smaller blockchains have really got involved in gaming, and now the big boys are coming to the table. Whereas originally with games, you had your big boys like Nintendo, etc. Then the smaller companies started to come to the table. So that's something very, very interesting, but that's what I love to see. Polygon clearly knows when they need to pivot, and they're not pivoting fully away from their primary function. While they're building that, they're also making sure not to get left behind on other big aspects of cryptocurrency. That's what you got to pay attention to. This, when it comes to the team, is a project that is being run extremely well. Now, I could go on for days and days about Polygon and how it's such a great project. It's done this, it's done that, all the partnerships, the acquisitions, the way that the team has positioned itself to continue to move forward. But the real intent of this video was, this is my perspective, we got to start looking at these projects and scrutinizing them the same way we would if we were going to invest in anything on the stock market. We can't just take a project, get all excited about the hype, pile into it, and then just sit back and rest on our laurels either. We've got to look at not what the team is saying, but what the team is doing. And this is a project that I clearly believe the team is positioning to be great into the future. And if you don't believe that all the things I've shown you today make this a great project, then
you can't handle the truth.
If you don't see it the same way I do, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's content, do me a favor, let me know it by smashing the like button. It is free of charge. It really helps the YouTube algorithm as well if you leave a comment, and make sure to share my content with a friend. Hit the bell for notification if you want to stay up to date on the latest content that I drop, and consider subscribing if you are not subscribed already. And I hope that your year is off to a great start, and I will see you next time.